So, I'm Kara.
I'm Chris.
And we're the Midnight Babes.
That was my little...
I finished off with circus.
I don't like the circus. The circus is not my jam.
It's not my jam either.
I don't like it.
So, speaking of circus, real quick. So, John Athan, who wrote, who wrote the Groomer book. I don't know if you've read that yet, but it's been all over TikTok.
Yeah, I need to.
Really good.
Ooh, okay.
But it keeps coming up on my KU that he has like a killer clown series.
Hey!
And it keeps coming up as suggested, and I'm like, get off of my screen.
We still need to watch that.
Look at it.
We need to go through, maybe we'll do that for spooky season. Is I will pick out some of the movies of clowns that we can watch. Because I made her, this whole started because of it, and I made her watch it.
And I did it.
Yes.
I did it.
It was great. We kept the lights on.
We did. You know what? My issue was I thought it was a clown. He an alien.
Yeah.
And you explained that to me, and then I was like, oh.
But I need you to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I think you're going to get a laugh out of it.
I probably
It's
will.
so fucking good. I love it. But there's this other movie called Clown. I believe it's called Clown. And it's one of those where it's like the outfit of a clown is like haunted or possessed in some way. And he puts it on for his kids'
like party.
And he can't take it off.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
And so he starts transforming into a killer.
That actually sounds kind of
like the nose can't come off, and I think he gets it off at one point and like takes out a chunk of his nose. Like it starts to like become him. That one I was like, oh no.
Interesting. I'm down.
Yeah.
All right, I added it to our movie list. Sweet. It's on there. We got
clown time because I just don't like clowns in general. But when they're scary, like I've always told Jacob, if
they're funny, you don't like them because you think you're hiding something.
Yes, if they are evil clowns dressed evilly.
I know you're an evil clown. It's very clear. Now,
very clear.
You are walking around honking and smiling, I'm probably going to knee you in the balls.
Yeah.
I don't know what your agenda is. It's unclear.
How people thought clowns were okay.
Don't know.
They're so funny. No. John Wayne Gacy.
Thank you. Although, you know, like, watching the documentaries about, this is a total sidetrack, but, like, they talk about the way he drew his shapes, and, like, he used sharp edges, like triangles and, like, squares, and, like, that is the opposite of what, like, fun clowns do. Like, they use, like, curves and circles, and I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, did he realize he was doing such, or was that just... I don't know, man. Serial killer is fucking weird. But I thought it was super crazy when I was, like, learning about him that, like, he tended to go with, like, sharper angles. And I was like, was that subconscious on his part? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Was that just, like, clowns in that time? I don't know. Anyways.
Ooh, that's something to go down a rabbit hole on.
It is. It totally is. I mean, serial killers in general are rabbit holes, but...
I used to want to be a criminal psychologist because I'm so interested. Like, what makes your brain tick? Why is it
different? Why am I not like that?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to you? Or if nothing happened, what the fuck didn't happen?
Yeah.
Like the psychology aspect of it is where I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, please tell.
Yeah.
Let me just peek in your brain real quick and I'll slide right back out once I have the info that I need.
Can I just have a job where I just interview? I don't know. I'm nosy. No.
Ask all the questions and write it down and
figure it out.
You go figure that piece out because that was a sesh. We're gonna cover 2 movies
that are totally not what we were talking about.
They're not, but we feel like they almost have the same aspect in an opposite way.
Oh, yeah. Not with the circus, not with any of that, but like how the movies are together.
Yes. So we're going to do Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney. Bow down, Sydney Sweeney.
Love her.
Bow the fuck down for that movie, girl. Dude, like an award should be given to Sydney Sweeney for
she did
her acting in I've always said she's a great actress, but like this is a totally different thing for her.
Yes.
One, and dude, that scream at the end.
Oh, that was.
I have goosebumps.
Me too.
Just thinking about it, I have it was so guttural and real and just like, just Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Woo. So we're gonna do Immaculate, and then we're gonna do the first Omen, 2024, because if you've seen both of them, you'll know why we're doing them together, and if you haven't, maybe you'll figure it out. I don't know. Who knows? Immaculate, it was in theaters. Now I think you can rent it on Prime, Amazon Prime. But it's about Cecilia, Sydney Sweeney, Cecilia, a woman of devout faith, is like welcomed into this, like, I think it's Italy.
Yeah, it's Italy.
Yeah, like countryside. But it's like a convent for like old nuns, and they like take care of like the elderly nuns, but there's also like children there too. Like it's a huge convent. It seems that it's like a pretty like highly praised place, based off like the info that they do give us at the beginning. But like shit starts to get a little weird. So she comes into the convent and is like getting her little like walkarounds and kind of like getting the gist, the role of what she's supposed to do.
Still learning the language. So, so she's also having that barrier.
Yeah, she doesn't even know fucking Italian fully. But it's interesting because like things like slowly start to go weird, and you're like, is it haunted?
Yeah.
Is she seeing things? Like, is she dreaming? Is she drugged? Like, what's going on? Like,
it's weird.
Yeah, like the way it starts off is.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, I read this TikTok that if you don't yawn when other people yawn, that like there could be something wrong with your brain. Like you could be like psycho. Oh. I don't yawn. Like I don't catch yawns, and apparently like yawns are contagious. And if like you don't catch yawns, there could be something.
I can, and I do and I don't.
Dude, I watched a full like 5-minute video on TikTok. I'll just send it to you. This guy like yawning and yawning and yawning, and he's like explaining the science behind it. And he keeps like yawning. I went through the whole video and I didn't yawn. And then at the end, he's like, "There may be something wrong with you if you did not yawn." Yeah. Like studies have shown, and I was like, "Next video."
I'm just gonna ignore that. No, there's times where like I do yawn with other people, but then there's times there are not. But also, I'm just perpetually fucking tired, and I forget to breathe correctly. Apparently,
and that's a way for your body to get it in there.
So that's why it's like when we do videos and you see me yawn a bunch, that's because I'm apparently not breathing. I'm not tired, but it's because of all the talking
me just
and everything
calling
like
out
that.
Your yawn
I
so
know.
Hard. I'm like, fuck your yawn.
No, I know. Like I'm not tired. I'm not bored. I'm sorry. It's just because my breathing is off.
My breathing is off.
I just don't breathe right.
So, like, yeah, they start to build, some good suspense, and you're kind of like, what's going on for a good, like, first half of the movie.
It has a real nice, like, ambiance, like, to the movie, where you're like, I'm getting a little creeped.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm on the edge of my seat, but you're like, I'm not scared.
It's more of like, what's going on?
Like, what's happening here? And, as we get to know more, they're like asking her, like, are you sure you're a virgin?
Yeah.
And, then they've got like the cardinals there, and they're like, her hymen is intact. I had to explain to Chris what the fuck it means to have your hymen intact.
But that also doesn't fucking matter.
I was like, your hymen could break. I had to explain that to him. I was like, if you put a finger up there too far. Like, I mean, like...
Tampon, you ride your bike.
Like, there's multiple reasons. So I was like, that was... And then that made me wonder, were they lying, about, like, the hymen being intact? After, like, I got to the end of the movie, I was like, was that a lie? Because otherwise, how'd they do it? So... spoilers on this, obviously.
Or it was fine then, but then because they're like, cool, she is pure, and so we can move forward.
Well, they already had signs of pregnancy when they were like in there checking to see if the hymen was intact. She was already like dizzy and shit.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. So essentially, in the basement of this church, they've got the cross that Jesus was on.
Yep.
And the nails. Okay.
Yep.
And they are taking Jesus's blood DNA off the nail and trying to reincarnate Jesus Christ by putting it in one of these nuns. Now, Sydney Sweeney has the unfortunate fate of being one of these women.
Yep.
And she like starts to pick up on like the older women that like there's burns on their feet and like they're telling her to go. Like there are signs, but we're still at that point you're still like, what is going on?
Yep.
She like wakes up and they're like surrounding her and they're like dragging her and she kind of like thinks it's a dream.
Yeah.
It's not. Girl gets down there and there are like so many test babies gone wrong. Like there are like monstrosities.
Yep.
I will say, as a side note, if you're going through IVF or
don't watch it.
Troubles conceiving, do not watch this movie.
Yeah.
Please.
Because they kind of go like not in depth, but like
they go pretty horror tilts towards the end. Like I said, it's really like thriller, and then they like at the end. So like I couldn't in good heart, like if I had a friend knowing that they were struggling with like infertility or like IVF, because that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just could not be like, hey, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
So would not suggest if you have, are having issues or are going through fertility treatments. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Personally. I mean, maybe you're a stronger soul than I am. I don't know. I was like, holy shit, when I saw these things in the jars.
Yeah.
So then she's like growing the baby. I mean, it's happening.
Yeah.
And at the end, girl runs. She's like, I ain't doing this.
She finally gets out. She fights for it. She gets the fuck out, burns the place down.
Burns the place down.
Crawls through like that fucking hole.
Fence, the hole in the fence.
Oh, while she's in labor.
And this is what I'm saying when like an acting award needs to be delivered. Dude, the way she like showed us her like pain but like strength to get away while I'm in labor was insane. She did such a good job. I was like near fucking tears watching it.
And like in the like midway, like while she's pregnant but she's finding out like what they're trying to do, she can like tries to convince them that she's having a chicken.
That's a chicken head off and puts it up there to like
get it all bloody.
And dude, she almost got away. She almost got away.
That was so good. I was like, that's fucking smart. Like you were trying it.
Well, at first I was like, I thought she like maybe did something to herself or the baby.
But she didn't want to have this baby anyway.
Right. I mean,
after figuring out what
was going on, like you knew it wasn't an immaculate conception. So like,
but like
back up.
But what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, at the end, like you hear.
She delivers the baby in the most guttural scream on planet Earth that I have ever heard.
Well, it was that one, and then baby happens, and then you hear the baby cry, and you're like, "Is that?"
And if you have closed captions on, it says like monster gurgling sounds.
Yeah,
like it does not say baby's trying to breathe and has fluid in mouth. Like it's not like
it's not baby sounds. It's
monster gurgling sounds.
But then her scream because she like.
Boulder, she's like, no.
But like it was so gut wrenching of like everything she's gone through, but at the same time, now she's going to murder her child.
Mm-hmm.
It was
heavy.
Goosebumps.
It was heavy, and then they kind of were just like, bye, and you're like, you're left at the screen, kind of like
the screen kind of goes black, and like if you're sitting across and you're like in that
you
see
yourself,
and it's like.
You're like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
But like they got everything that they needed to.
It was so good.
I've never seen a movie like this, so props for that. Like the reincarnation of Jesus.
There's so many it's like the Omen, there's so many like Antichrist coming in and that's every type of those movies, but it's so rare to have one
that's different
in that way, and I think this one really did it. Now for the first Omen, kind of going into that one, that is very much
opposite.
It's the opposite of like Antichrist is happening, but it's still like the deformed fucking babies. It has to be it's a nice, I want to say it's a retelling of the Omen. It's like a prequel of how the Omen
began. So like that was cool. it's streaming on like Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Prime as well now. But this one was weird, like a young American woman sent to Rome. And then she like encounters this like darkness that like causes her to question her like faith.
Yeah.
And then like finds this whole like conspiracy
big time
to bring about the birth of the evil incarnate. So that's what I mean, like it's the opposite of Immaculate.
But I like how they said it for this one, because it's like it's a priest reaching out to her and trying to like get more insiders to be like, help me stop this and like that conspiracy. But I like how they did it as far as no one's coming to see God, or like no one's having that faith, so we have to give them something to come back to us.
Yes, like we need to put this mayhem and evil into the world because the church is dying. So
they need
if we show the world there's this much evil, mayhem, madness, they will come back. And I don't know how well that really fares.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's very much the opposite of I mean, they're taking like DNA again to,
but it's only for the women who
born
on July 6th at 6
a.m. And so like you have the 666 and you have to have the mark of the 666 on your body somewhere, and only those women would be able to carry.
Yeah.
Is it the spawn of the Omen, I guess we would call it? Or, no, the Omen. No, it'd be the spawn of the Omen.
Well, when he is the Omen.
Yeah.
It's just the devil spawn.
Yeah, so the spawn.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was, like, really interesting.
But this one, I feel, definitely had more of the supernatural vibes.
And more of the horror vibes.
Oh, yeah, because people are lighting themselves on fire. Like, this is for you.
You got people fucking jumping off roofs and...
Guy getting, like... squished, and then she pulls his body to like
top
hat.
Okay, if somebody's pinned between a car and a wall, you don't pull them out. But yeah, when the top half came off, I was like, oh
no,
ouch, Charlie,
I think that's
really hurted.
Oh no,
Charlie.
I think there was one part I think I messaged you on too. It's like, you know, there's always those scenes of like the demon coming out of the vag. You know, like you see like you see the leg, you see the hand. No, in this one you see like full hand and then like frontal vag, and I was like, oh no, and it's like, I was like, oh, that's a full vagina.
That's a full ass vagina. Yeah, it was good. I
liked how it came about, and it was kind of ending because she had twins. Which I feel great because it's like one is the anti and
one is the savior, essentially. So then that made me like wonder, is there gonna be another one?
Because I love how they said it was Damien.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
and they were like, you're gonna need the girl to help. So I'm like, are we gonna get another one after this? Because I never watched the original Omen, but I watched the remake in like the early
with
2000s. Yeah, I watched that one, and I was like, that was scary shit. Like, you know, fucking Philip McCartney tries to like.
You gotta watch Rosemary's Baby. That was a good one too.
But like, I thought that shit was spooky. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I like the whole like creation of them. Like if we, and with Immaculate, like if we can't have it on our own, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna bring it into this world.
Yeah, and it's, you know, Father Brennan. How do you control people who no longer believe? You create something to fear.
Yep.
But I would really like to see if there's another movie following this. It is kind of like a slow burn.
Oh yeah, but like it's
still... and then it picks up at the end.
But even with the slow burn, you're still like, ooh, it keeps you going. It keeps you guessing.
Yeah, like, I would say it is slow burn to start because they're filling you in with background. They're doing a bit of reminders, but then it really is like, this happens, and then you're like, okay.
Because then she starts finding out why this shit is happening.
Like, she starts linking the conspiracy, if you will. Once she starts linking it, you're like, all right, move along, let's go. And now, and then it does. So, like, if I had to say which one I liked better, I'd probably say Immaculate.
Yeah.
Only because I've never seen something like that. And like the whole idea of like the blood off like the nail.
Actually off
and,
of it.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that was so like detailed. I was
Yep.
like, damn.
It was
and
good.
I've never seen something like that. And I'm loving, we can only do so many fucking movies about like nuns and religion. So like you said, when they are able to put their own twist on it, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here for it.
It's still going to be like the same, the Antichrist and what's going on, but like it's going to depend on what their end goal is and how they are going to make this fit within a movie. To make it interesting and not just a replay
of something else. And they did a good job. But I would say like out of 10, I would give Immaculate like a 7. I think it was a solid 7.
Yeah.
First Omen, I'd probably say like 6.5, 6.7.
I agree.
Like, I don't think it, like, Immaculate, like, really outdid The Omen. It was just, like, the new idea in Sydney Sweeney's acting that, like, really, like, put it right
up
above.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. They were both really good at it. They both had their own, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, differences?
Yes.
But compared to, like,
as well. Like, it was odd, and it was nice that they came out so close to it.
Yeah, but I think that's also, like, we're in that
time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we do have Abigail and Imaginary.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
We'll be back with those. But happy Thursday!
Happy Thursday!
Bye!
Bye!
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to see more from us, you can find us on Instagram at The Midnight Babes Podcast and on TikTok at The Midnight Babes. Stay spooky, friends.